Paul. Next, please welcome Dr. Kang Kok Hin from the School of Engineering and Technology. In his capacity, Dr. Kang is also a Managing Director at MPF Consultants Private Limited. He graduated with first-class honours Bachelor of Engineering from Monash University, Australia, and earned a Master of Engineering MBA PhD from NUS. He is a Chartered Engineer in Australia and the United Kingdom. He started as an engineer with PWD to gain expertise in design, operation, facilities/infrastructure, and project management. He has spent 30 years in corporate strategy, human resources, business management, international asset and facilities management. He was General Manager of IT Park, Bangalore, India, Director of Wuxi International Industrial Park, China, and a General Manager of City Building Management Private Limited. Today, he will be covering a topic on modern project management. Dr. Kang, please.
Thank you. A very good day to every one of you who has tuned in to this special edition of project management. And in today's, we are going to talk about the modern project management as distinct from the traditional practice. In the old days, the project management are segmented and they are not integrated. They have cost activities, they have time schedule and so on. And each one is cascading to another one. So sometimes there is no coordination and other people do not know what the other departments are doing. But today's approach requires very demanding practices because of the dynamic change environment. The dynamic requirements need to be known in advance and they are continuously changing. So without further ado, let's move on to the first slide. This slide will show you briefly the activities of project management. As you can see, straight away from start with introduction and then it goes to strategy, activity 2, then it goes to organization. You will have to have an organization structural framework to deliver your project to make sure the project is time, cost, and control. That means you are on schedule and with minimum budget costs. And last but not least, with the workmanship, quality or performance as desired by the stakeholders as well as the client. So this is the essential trade-off in any project activities. And what we would go through is the definition of project in its simplistic concept, and the rest is more technological, like cost estimate, projects and networks technique, project networks technique involving such thing as activity on node and activity on arrow network technique. This is a very powerful technique that involves forward propagation and backward propagation. And these techniques will offer you the estimation of cost, estimation of time schedule and completion using most advanced technique like Microsoft Project 2016 and 2019. Schedule, resources and costs is also part of the project management. So project management is a multidiscipline services, all right? We offer project management to clients because of the project management is an art. It's an integration of art and science, but more so an art. You have later on see a diagram of Bakwa, that means Yin Yang, Tai Chi, which emphasizes not only the technology, project management technology, it's also the soft skill that is required. Soft skill like team building, like motivation, like leadership, and systematic, effective team management. This will build a comprehensive and complete personality out of the organization as well as the individual. All right, and the rest will be the details. In project, there are 5 facets, and one of the important facets will be the monitoring, review, track process. This monitoring is important, so it has such important topic like earned value management. Okay, so review, track, monitoring is one of the important aspects because without a structure and synergetics monitoring, you won't know where you are, and that's where the problem will start, right? last but not least is the project closure. Project closure is the handing over and completion stage. This symbolizes the team activity has come to an end and you need to deliver the products or goods to the client, subject to the client's satisfaction. So project closure, to deliver a good project, later on you will see that it's not just the completion of the built environment, it's also the compliments or the satisfaction of the client, that they say this is a project well delivered. Okay, next. So this basically summarizes the modern project activities. You may ask, what is the so modern about it? So what is hidden inside there is an integration management. Like I say, 30 years ago, anyone can start a project. Even my forefathers can, with 2 bags with some nails, they can build a timber and zinc structures, 2-story by themselves. All right, but today's high-rise building and complex infrastructure, the approach will be different. You no longer can depend on cascading activities. You have to have a feedback loop in terms of resource management. So what is important, what distinguishes today's project management from the past is an integration management. All right. So now we go on to the next slide. What is simply definition or the concept or quotes of this management guru called Tom Peters. Tom Peters has written many management books, and when I was a young student, I also have studied his teaching. All right, his understanding, comprehensive knowledge of management services. So Tom Peters say, project management is the whole discipline and art of project management, going to be the essence of management training, operation excellence, and value added. So the last 2 words are very important. It connotes sustainability. Sustainability and sustainable, both project and operation management will require operation excellence in terms of planning and execution. And the key word is, so as you optimize your operation, the key word is value added services. Value added services is very abstract and is conceptual, but it is what everybody wants. When you see the value, you can tell it, but it is very difficult to put in words. So project management can actually provide the values, which simply term it the amount of money the client is willing to pay, the extra effort, for the extra effort provided, and that is the value. So value is worth, value is performance, is also the value gain, right? The revenue in the loose terms. So these are the important aspects of modern project management where an integration management is incorporated. So Tom Peters say, gathering together all the individuals with the aim of making them a cohesive whole and ensuring benefits of stakeholders. All right. So everybody will know this implies team building is a challenging task, and to get them to work together is actually a good fortune, a fate, right? And all of us are different in our own understanding and knowledge level. So to be able to work together will require a set of skill set. Forming a team is different from forming a group. Team will go through the 5 stages of norming, forming, norming, performance, and dismemberment. Several stages of process to make it a team, all right? Whereas the forming a group is different. If there's an accident outside, some people will congregate and witness the accident. That is not a team, that is a group. So forming a team is a very important soft skill because it requires one simple fact, the emotional quotients, all right? And project management is traditionally more technological oriented. So their hard skill, most people can master it together with the help of software. But in terms of soft skill, I don't think we have any software for that. They may have a lot of arts and literature that describe this, but to be able to incorporate the soft skill as important as in the project management skill set, it is a challenge. Take for example, the Marina Bay Sands in Singapore, which is I will call it the mega scale project, all right? At first, when they hire project director that is not people-oriented, the project can come to a halt, all right, and they cannot move forward because the workers and the management has got different views and cannot understand each other's practices. To cut it short, they hire another person who is people-oriented, may not be technologically savvy, and yet he is able to complete the project as what you see today, all right, at the Marina Bay Sands. So that is an important aspect. Don't underestimate interrelationship or interpersonal skill set because it requires a good leadership, it requires motivation, it requires how to be a good listener. What we fail in most other management services is always top-down, instructional kind of practices. And how often in general management or in any other management that you have to be a good listener. You have to really motivate your team, all right? Give them a pat on the shoulder in order to get the project complete. And you cannot lose your temper, all right? So gathering together of individuals to make it a holistic and cohesive whole, ensuring benefits of taking into account all the benefits as conceived by the stakeholders is a fundamental role, right? Notice it's a fundamental, it's not so much of the essential role. The strategic issues in project management, a strategic perspective is how PM structure fits with organization structure. So you have this multi-discipline service provider, right, provision that can support your organization mission and goal and visions together by the PM services and PM structure. Next we will go to what is the comparison of routine work and projects. So I will just make it very simple without going through line by line, right? Ordinary project work has got a start. They are all the same, right? The project works is very unique. They are examples of a project work. You'll be surprised. Wedding planning, wedding planning, which lasts for 12 months to 6 months, is a project because in culturally we believe you only marry once. Of course, if you are even if you are a different culture, still we would like to suggest it is only a very important event and it only occurs once in a lifetime. So wedding planning has been used extensively as an example for project management. Okay. And there are other project management. More complicated one is, would you consider running a Mutu Curry restaurants as a project or as a operation? So a lot of students have misunderstood this, right? They say, well, if I'm doing it every day, what's the difference between a project and operation? So when you construct technically, when you construct the restaurant premises, it is a project. When it's completed and the operation team move in and continue to run it, is recurring activities, that is an operation. All right, but there are some activities that overlaps, so we will not matter so much to the service as long as you achieve your time, cost, performance, and quality. Routine work, like a general manager or general management of your company, it will be repetitive, recurring, and it's quite a different approach. There is no deadline. But if you ask my view of 30 years in project management, well, it does not matter. Everything you do in today's context must be project managed, and we use the project manage as a verb. This is advocated by the professors in Manchester University, all right? So you project manage your arts, you project manage your life, and you project manage everything, like a life cycle cost. Your life, if you live 80 years old, can also be a project. From the beginning, cradle to the, I won't use the word, the other end. With 80 years in totality, you also need to plan, all right? So the new generation, the new concept is to plan your life, project manage your life so that you can achieve your success, your goal, and your objectives, whether it's personal or whether it's company. Now, this is a very important, I will try to emphasize more on the pictures. This is what project management at the bottom or foundation of every service provision. Then you have more than one project, multiple project is called portfolio management or program management. And that has to be aligned with your organization strategic objectives or directions. It's no point to have a project management team where you don't have the strategic context. Even in government running a nation, they must have the project management, they must roll out projects as a note, whether it's art projects or whether it's any other projects, but it has to support their strategic objective. Well, strategic objective for a company can be you will be the next IPO in 30 years time or in 20 years time or even as fast as 5 years time. All right, so you have your, or you want to make the, you want to be the number 5 in Southeast Asia. So these are your business objective, and business objective can only be accomplished through the implementation or rollout of project management. So you can see project manage as a verb is a very powerful discipline. So this is a very important slide, all right? It's called, in Chinese thinking, is the yin yang. And on the red side is technical and technological. That covers the basic skill set of defining scope, work breakdown structure, WBS, time schedule, resource allocation, and last but not least is your budgeting, all right? So time, cost, quality, and performance. Performance is a huge field, right? Performance can have KPIs, can have benchmarks, can have many things. In addition to this, you must have RTM, review, track, and monitoring skill set to generate the reports. But nowadays it's called dashboard, all right? In the old days, it's all reports and progress meeting with photos. So this technological part has been done quite successfully. All engineers, all technical science students can master this skill set because they are quite exact sciences. But what is lacking later on when they find that we are lacking of social cultural skill set. That is a soft skill. It's very important to have social cultural skill set. You can have a project director, even from the art stream, as long as he has possessed all this skill set as listed there. First thing, you learn how to be a leader, is as distinct from a follower. So leadership is important, and to be a leader, you must know how to work with the team. You must be able to motivate the followers. So I may ask you, when was the last time you motivate your peers or your superior or even your subordinates as a manager? So motivation is what we Asian culture find difficult to implement because we are by nature clannish in terms of the cultural dimension. So to be able to motivate people to enhance other people's quality is productivity is not in our culture. So we have to overcome that, right? But I think there are many successful cases, many successful mega scale projects. Teamwork is like, well, a buzzword, but it's difficult to do. You may utter all the teamworks and team spirit, esprit de corps, all the type of concepts, but to implement it, everyone is different. And you also need to master the ADR, alternate dispute resolution skill set, to iron out the differences. That is also practiced in human resource management. Negotiation skill is important, like Professor Kissinger, the ex-Secretary General of USA. He's a good negotiator. He can turn the Middle East war into a peaceful process or into a fighting matter. So that negotiation skill, or you can see in a movie all the detective stories where motivation, negotiation is an art. How do you convince people, all right, without exercising cohesion, without being using your rank to bully people? Negotiation is an important soft skill. Politics is available everywhere unless you just come out from school. So politics is important to appreciate it. In Australia, they say, one CEO say, they can manage by politics, all right? They can manage by politics, all right? So you are able to hear the vibration or the feelings of the ground you have to adopt certain strategy. And strategy, when there are two persons, is called a relationship dynamics, all right? And that is politics. Customer management, that is the most important one. So you learn in project management, you are dealing with so many quantity surveyor, consultants, clients, contractors. That will obviously make it more complicated. But most important, among all this, all must work together to meet the dynamic requirement of the customer. Now remember, dynamic requirement, or we call it requirement analysis, is never static. It starts from the day of your project and almost travel through the whole project life cycle. At the end, the politics, the customer expectation will still be there. All right, so go through it. They have gone through every stage of the project life cycle. Customer requirement is always a must. All right. Now the subsequent slide will show you we need a project organization. We need an organization for project to be carried out. You cannot operate by yourself alone. So you need to have a functional in a project when it's first started. All right, when there are not much work to be carried out, which means not much funding available, you will have to tap to the services of the other functional departments. I spent 10 years in Mandarin Hotel, all right, Mandarin International Group. So when I first started, my project office only have two skeleton staff, my GM and myself as the directors of project. But we tap on all the services from the Mandarin Orchard Hotel. There is 1,200 rooms. The housekeepers, the F&B directors, the chief security officers, and many others, front office, so the sales and marketing forces. We tap their expertise in the past. They have been running, all right, as founded by the chairman, ex-chairman, Dr. Lien Zhao. So they have learned this service of Chinese culture. So you see the hotel's logo is a person wearing a hat in the government uniform to serve the people. So there is a characteristic of culture. And Mandarin Hotel was the first hotel where the late Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew asked them to please get a local, to inculcate the culture of servicing to the public. So there is an important concept. How do we serve as a matter of our commitment, our culture, not as a matter of generating revenue. All right, so there is a difference in concept. Everybody say, yeah, okay, why not? We set up a company is to earn the revenue, make profit, but you have the value part of it. And so that has to be further developed, all right, to emphasize we are providing services. That's because we are the center of the traveling organization, all right? And the next one is slightly bigger organization where the number of staff has increased from 2 to 5 or 7 to 8, a skeleton team. It is still tapping on the services of the functional departments, all right? This one is all the project departments, slightly bigger project. Once the project is confirmed, the sales, the size, the scale, and all these are decided, and you need the number of staff then, or you have 3 or 4 projects going on, it will then be worthwhile to form an organization reporting to your central directors in charge. It can be the chief engineer, it can be the chief, sales and marketing directors, whatever it is. This will be a sizable project management organization. Organization is important because without organization, you have no values, you have no performance goals, you have no cultural impact, all right? And this is yet another organization we call matrix. Previous one is called projectized organization. This is matrix, means it's the dual groups of the project office itself and reporting and tapping some of the services and advice from the functional departments. And so the people there will report to 2 bosses. It's called a matrix organization. It's very common in HR. In HR, this is very common. Some when they are undergoing transformation and growth, some department will report to more than just the department head. And so there's a difficult balance to be able to report to 2, and yet you are able to deliver your goals. And it's not so much of whether you can score points or not. It's the be clear-minded in your task assigned, being assigned, and then therefore achieve the objective of completing the task on time. This is a very outsourcing, very popular techniques. You may ignore it because you use a bicycle as an example. But all the other parts, the peripheral of all the services required will be outsourced so as to minimize your cost incur and to tap on expertise, specialized skill set from other company or organization. So befitting the belief that may the best person run the job, all right? So if you cannot run everything, you are not the Superman or Superwoman, but you can outsource it to different organizations who can then exploit this situation to develop the technological skill set and to create and innovate or the services to be provided. So organizing for network outsourcing is an important management approach. Not only in project management, it also very popular and powerful in facilities management or management of built environment. You have to outsource. But in some of the organizations, they take outsourcing as right sizing. All right? They take outsourcing as cutting down staff. So this is a very wrong concept. Some company ask me, say, yeah, I have outsourced. Why am I failing? When they come to me, I'll ask them the first question, why did you outsource? Can you understand your purpose of outsourcing? And inevitably, they will say, yeah, I want to cut down the staff. Because I streamlined with just like merger and acquisitions. You want to cut down the staff. That is the wrong objective, all right? What we want, the outsourcing, is so that your staff can have extra time, quality time, to master your work and to develop higher level of strategic management, okay, and skill set, innovation and creativity. That's the most important purpose of outsourcing, is not to cut staff, all right? Project life cycle, which I will just refer you to this slide. Project life cycle can be also a single continuous line, but it has been broken into 4 phases. And some other project management practices have included one more phase between execution and delivering. They put in tracking and monitoring phase. So there can be 5 phases, there could be 4 phases. So you have initialization phase, which is defining, planning phase, execution phase. Planning phase is where you design, where you award contract. Okay, so yeah. So you have all these 4 to 5 phases that enable you to complete your project systematically and able to move forward and backwards. That's the most important strategy of modern project management, and that is integration. All right? So this is, I think we are going to come to an end. This is a integration project management system. It's called, in the old days, it's called MIS, Management Information System. Now it's replaced by Building Information Management, BIM. And BIM is very common. It's required by our minister that all development projects must have BIM modeling and have it completed in that sense. Then now it is passing down to the operation stage. Okay, so the last but not least, people would like to ask this question. What are the success factors of project? Okay, as you can see, there are 10 of them. You have mission and goals, management support, planning, client configuration, and many other factors. But the most important success factor is to obtain customer satisfaction. A lot of practitioners say, I finished the TOP, I finished the RI inspection, I finished this, it will end, which we beg to differ. Project success, when the customer give you a praise, all right? A satisfaction report, that is called success. If they have awarded a contract to you and they are not getting the satisfaction, you can be rest assured you have no repeat project, no have repeat business. So it's important to obtain the satisfaction of the client. And with this slide, I end my talk about project management. And I like to emphasize modern project management can also be applied to your lifetime, to your lifespan, to your works, to many other services or any objective you aspire to accomplish. All right? So with this I end, and thank you very much for listening to these talks about project management.
Hi, thank you, Dr. Kang, for the insightful sharing and also the insight to the knowledge of project management. To this end, with University of Sunderland, we are offering the MSc in Project Management. The program will enhance your knowledge in management as well as the techniques and the methods in project management. So this project management program is an assignment-based program where you have to apply the knowledge that you learn in each module into your assignments at the end of the modules. On top of that, there will be a project which you also put in all your knowledge that you have learned through all your modules into the final year project. Now, how to apply for this program? So this program, you can apply it if you have a degree in any discipline, and which is equivalent to a second-class UK degree. So any discipline, a degree in any discipline, you can apply for this program. And if you don't have the qualifications, but with the vast experience in project management or handling project, you are welcome to apply as well. So today, you can ask us any questions as our program consultants are online. You can tap into the type your questions or query into the chat box. We will instantly reply to you. So please do remember one thing, that lock in your application today to enjoy the special rebate as well. Thank you for your time and have a good evening ahead. Thank you.